Oh,
What? Hello?
I heard three buzzers that time. Is that unusual?
What's happening?
I heard three buzzers.
Oh, all right. Welcome in. It's the ATB Show, atbshow.com. Find all the links for all the mediums where Rubber Shoes, there are now. We did jersey updates. We're on Hat of the Day. You get the wrap up and the rant. We are working on our Bumble account and our Grindr account. So we're gonna be available everywhere. Unfortunately, well, people saw him shirtless on the side of the AAA work truck. Say that 10 times fast. So we feel like we need
sign truck.
Yeah, the sign shop truck. Yes,
Yeah.
We are brought to you by our dear friends at AAA Work Trucks and Sign Shop. They're going to kill us. Joe and Leslie tolerate Rubber Shoes on a regular basis. You only have to do it for this mere 59 minutes. 58:59, 58:58. So
whatever it
Rubber
takes.
Shoes,
If
take
you're
it
lucky.
away. Tell them all about it.
Yes, we're brought to you by AAA Work Trucks, your one-stop shop for all your work truck needs. If it goes in or on a vehicle, it's a good bet AAA can take care of for you. Give them a call at 866-783-6222 or check them out online at aaaworktrucks.com.
So
Never
we're going to
gets
open
old.
up real quick. I
gotta tell you guys something.
Oh,
Did you?
okay.
So we recorded a commercial for a Spanish station.
Wepa.
Did you know that? So and we say AAA Work Trucks, but in Spanish they say Work Trucks.
So you're going to change it?
No,
Do we need to do?
that's
Do
how-
we need to do another read? Another ad
If we
read?
do a Spanish YouTube channel, then we'll have to change it.
I want to see Rubber Shoes do a Spanish YouTube channel.
Work Trucks. Puta.com.
I feel like if we go in that direction, I might be too Dunder Mifflin for that staff. So we're probably going to stay over here on the Porridge Network.
All
But
right, okay.
anyway, outside of that, look at Scotty, looks like an Iranian prisoner. What's out? You all right, buddy?
I look like I feel like I'm in like a horror movie. Like something's gonna kill
Hold
me.
up today's
You know what I mean?
newspaper.
I'm, like, freaking dragged away at this point. At some point.
Kaylee's deep in the chat. She already wants to know, how do we find this commercial?
You have to listen
I think she
to,
wants to know, are the ladies going to be turned on because there is actual audio of Rubber Shoes
No,
going,
it's not. It's not me.
It's
We
not my
recorded
own face,
one
it's
of the
my
texts.
face.
The text saying it.
Keep backing up your truck. Joe,
Oh,
definitely gonna let us go
yes,
after this one. Yep.
You can listen
Is that
to
your
that.
fender touching my
on,
bumper, or are you just excited to park
Oh.
near me? Oh my God. Anyway, all
Is
that
this
aside,
is it a video commercial or an audio commercial?
it's,
Rubber Shoes,
audio.
just
It's
for
on,
radio, right?
97.7 Roomba.
I think we should.
that's a fact,
should-
not a radio.
What?
We suck. Oh no,
Yeah,
the Roomba. We suck.
Roomba.
RUMBA.
Nope.
Probably means
Oh,
something
Nope,
different. In
it's an
Spanish.
audio medium. No, but on the radio, when you
It
see
really
how it's
doesn't
spelled,
matter.
it'll make sense. It's making no sense. Where did you find out about it? I couldn't. What are we doing?
I was spelling it wrong.
I spelled it wrong on the listening thing. They call it the radio. That's how you say radio in Spanish. Radio.
Oh, it's really just a Spotify channel. That's all it
Holy
is.
shit. Well, we were probably canceled 4 minutes ago, but I'm going to press on anyway. Speaking of being canceled, my mother Cheryl's very concerned. So we're going to open with an editorial correction.
Please.
Apparently, I was waxing poetic. And last week, I said that my mother, and I'm paraphrasing here because I didn't go back to the microfiche because we don't have a stenographer because we don't have the budget.
Right.
Apparently, last week at some point, maybe Scotty and you guys remember, I said to the extent of Tiger Woods, and we all understand, my mother has no desire to spend any time in proximity of Tiger Woods. She does not love him.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. And I think I skated way over the blue line and said she wants him dead. She wanted to retract that statement. So we're taking that back.
I would think
don't
she would.
remember saying that. But apparently I did. And my mother's always right. except
Mhm.
for on October
course.
10th, 1971. Other than that, she's batting 1,000. So, Cheryl is retracting that statement. I am not her counsel. She has counsel. And
She's retracting a statement you made.
the attorney's office of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe couldn't be here. So I'm saying that for them and for her.
Okay. All right.
There it is.
It's probably better that she doesn't want Tiger Woods dead.
We're going to have the shirts made. Cheryl doesn't want Tiger dead. 2024.
Merch coming soon.
Yep.
We're still waiting on the hats.
Yep. I'm going to have one made for her that says, "Let Tiger live." It'll be perfect.
Oh,
Maybe we
She'll
could
love
get Portnoy to do it since he's extra million rich.
He's got another $1 million. Obviously, there are some massive steak tips on the plate that we have to gnaw through today. We're gonna obviously have a conversation about whether we're having a conversation about our great head coach by this time next week. We'll get there. I'm going to let Scotty have his day. I know that I tested our friendship by saying that I was all in on Bamba Lamba because I just wanted the bedlam. I wanted them to come in and just upset the apple cart, which didn't happen. Great game, though. And Washington, another great game. The two semifinal games were just perfect. Like, what a way to wrap up this version of the playoff system, right? I guess, Scotty, I'll go to you first. Like, what's your hope for what next Monday night might look like now? Like,
What do you mean, like in regards? To,
how
like,
does
game
this
is
play
and
out?
all that?
What is Vegas already saying? I have not looked. I'm still picking up the pieces of my broken heart for Bamba Lamba.
My hope is that we just crack some and get ourselves.
What are we
another
having? What are you
championship.
having? What are you having? What's happening?
It's just a goose.
Oh, I love that. So
yeah, okay.
I'm here just to bring the liquid update. I've dubbed it No Fun Q1. So I'm doing Dryuary again, like I did last year.
Okay.
And then
All
the
right.
window between Dryuary, Lent starts on Valentine's Day. So it's only 13 days. So I'm just going to press straight through. I don't drink until Easter, which is March 31st. So it's technically not all of Q1, but yeah.
That's impressive.
That's
Yeah.
it. That is impressive to me. So,
if you're like,
what are
wow,
we
he
replacing it with?
He seems cantankerous today. It's sobriety. Yep. Brought to you by 97.7 Roomba. You didn't
Roomba!
see it, we did.
Wepa!
Anyway, go ahead, Scotty.
Unbelievable. I was gonna do Dryuary, but no, I wasn't ever actually. No, my birthday is like what am I
There's
gonna go to
always
Mohegan
next year.
Sun?
A girl
and
can
not
dream.
Jesus. No, honestly, I think first going back to the semifinal matchup was one of the better games. I think that that college football could have asked for. Right.
Mhm.
I think they both games were phenomenal. The Michigan game, going to overtime. The JJ McCarthy bringing them down and the driving down the field, and I give I'm blanking on his name right now, the wide receiver, a ton of credit that scored the tying touchdown because he had the enormous block in the back, which was so stupid for him to do. Wilson, it was a Wilson, yeah. And so happy he made a huge catch, obviously, on the tip ball, the really high throw. And
That catch was a saver. That was the whole thing.
That was
the whole thing.
It really was, and I was happy he got to redeem because he's been a stud all year, and so it was a phenomenal game for roller coaster of emotions. And then the Washington almost blowing it against Texas. By the way, Penix is just an absolute stud. That kid is legit, top 10 type of talent. He's just such a great quarterback for Washington. So Monday,
I want to talk about that.
I'm terrified of Monday, honestly, because it's Washington's a good football team.
Mhm.
They haven't necessarily played a defense like Michigan's. So that's, really what Michigan's going to have to continue to hang their hat on is that great defense. And they need to play as well as they did, and especially putting pressure on Penix like they did in that first half against Alabama. So I can't wait. I mean, Monday can't get here fast enough. My wife is like, another thing that you have to. I'm like, it's ending. It's almost over. Football's almost over.
Well, what made me sad too is next Tuesday we were supposed to start the Tomorrow Golf League.
Oh,
TGL was supposed to start next Tuesday after the national championship. Well, the tent down in Florida. Remember they had the storm and the tent blew down.
Yes.
The big venue that they had got
Yeah.
hit by a storm, and I appreciate they're like, oh, we're just gonna wait till 25 now. I was like, really? Sort of weird, but so
Maybe
what
we
is
should,
it? What,
maybe we
what
can
is
just
Vegas?
knock Tiger Woods off.
Yeah, well, see, there it is. It's the hatred for Tiger Woods. Yeah, I'll huff and I'll puff. So, so what is Vegas saying for next week?
Give me a second. I can find it. I haven't looked it up yet.
Rubber
Yeah, so
shoes. You were going to
I'm
make
just
a
happy
comment
for
about
it.
Michael Penix Jr., our future
Yeah,
quarterback
so
here in Foxborough. I like
the
it.
thing
I
with
like it a lot.
Penix and Bo Nix and also
Lots of
Daniels is they've been playing quite a few years in college. Does that worry you if you're drafting a quarterback and you take a guy who's a fifth or sixth year senior in college that he's playing, a 24-year-old playing against 20-year-olds, and now he's making it like he should be in his prime in the NFL at this point
I
at
don't know about
24 years
prime.
old.
I don't know about
Is
prime.
he
24
is he
still
just
pretty young.
looking good because he's playing against 1 and 2 year college football players, and he's been doing it for 5-6 years?
Look, well, first of all, there's no magic bullet when it comes to college quarterbacks going to the NFL, right? If there was, then Ryan Leaf would, not been Ryan Leaf, amongst many other busts, Marcus Russell, et cetera, et cetera.
Mhm.
I don't think 24 is prime. To me, 27, 28, 29, those should be your prime years in the NFL for a quarterback. That's, from what I can tell. You look at, guys like Anthony Richardson's 23 or whatever. Bryce Young's 23, 20, or 22. And then CJ Stroud's 24, right? So you're looking at these guys that are playing right now that are in like around this age group. And you got to think the way that the college football is now, a lot of guys, they're transferring because they're not getting playing time behind different people. So, they're still wasting an entire year. So I look at it, I see what you're saying, Billy, is there a concern that he's looking better against younger competition, but also B,
Because he has
is there
more
wear and tear
experience.
on him? But is there also wear and tear on him? I don't look at it that way. I mean, yeah, but you want a quarterback coming in with experience. I personally don't think that that's a knock on them. I don't.
No, but
at
it's
least.
experience against and a lot of these college teams are putrid. It's like some of these games that play in, when they win 65-3, it's like, okay, how much is he really? How many really good players is he really playing against, and is he really just doing really well because he has that much experience over these other players? That's the only thing that worries me. Like the first thing that pops in my head is Chris Winkie. Because he was like
20, he was like 27 when he came.
6. Yeah, but
was
he
Florida
looked
State, they
really
wanted him to
good
spell
his
his whole
last
name.
year of college because he had so many years on everyone else.
I mean, college football, again, there's no real magic bullet on a lot of that stuff. I think it's either that or you don't draft a quarterback then, right? Because a lot of the quarterbacks that are coming out, like Caleb Williams is he's 23, 24. So, he's the same age as CJ Stroud, I think. And so, I don't know if that's where I'm leaning towards, like that. I wouldn't draft a quarterback. I mean, honestly, if they can get a veteran quarterback, I would prefer that, and then draft an offensive lineman because they're going to need offensive lineman help. But that's
CJ Stroud's 22.
really.
What's really
Yeah.
funny, we were having this conversation because I turned to Janine and I'm like, I feel like, and we're not there yet, but I feel like it's going to be like 3 more years and people are like, oh, his COVID year. And you're like, wait a minute, that was 2020. And I'm telling you, this is going to be a thing. We are going to be talking about the COVID year for a little bit more because there are kids that were at prep schools that were at Don Bosco's in Florida that when COVID hit and they didn't play football, they stayed.
Right.
And they played their next year of football, right? Or kids that didn't start or get it, like, and we saw this as kids growing up. I know Rubber Shoes certainly experienced this. We have kids that we grew up in the Chelmsford area that their parents were like, well, we could put little Jimmy into kindergarten, but if we don't, and he plays football, he'll be that much bigger when he gets started. So I think the COVID thing is going to be a factor. I appreciate that some people are coming in at 24, 25 years old. I also appreciate that
And it
could
only
remedy the waiting period, and they're gonna come in and they're gonna be ready to go, and that would be super delicious for us. Speaking for us, in the grand scheme of things.
There's a kid at Notre Dame that Tyler
Jesus.
went to school with,
Jesus.
and he went to Lowell High, played a year as a freshman. He transferred to Lawrence Academy. They put him back as a freshman at Lawrence Academy,
Mm-hmm. COVID
so
year.
they could get an extra year.
Yes.
And then
You're making my
COVID too,
point.
so he probably actually got 2 extra years out of him.
Yeah. He'll be 38 when he's a freshman.
And I think he's a sophomore and he's 21.
Yep.
Because he will be 21. He's the same age as Tyler. So and they're saying he's not going to play for another 2 years. So it'll be like a 23-year-old lineman.
But Scotty just made a great point. He'll probably play before then because the transfer portal and NIL money. And as much as this will annoy some people, and I'm not ever going to walk it back, because I think when this all started, I celebrated it because I think it is good for kids. I think if you have an opportunity to go to a place where you can play and not just be stuck at the school, I mean, it's what's annoying, and this is driving Janina nuts, so I'll verbalize this for her, is they're always doing the whole thing of, when Scotty Duquette is at Michigan, they talk about that he came from Clemson. There's so much focus on the school they just came from. That gets annoying. But I think the opportunity it's creating for people, Scotty makes a great point. Kids are just going to shift around because they can. You're going to start to see more free agency in college than we're seeing in the pros.
Yeah. So they're gonna have to change the rules on this, because now it's not okay. Well, it's one thing if you're not getting playing time, you're sitting behind a guy. Well, now they're plucking the guy who just signed at Florida State was a starting quarterback somewhere else this past season, but he's going to Florida State because it's a bigger school
and more money.
And the same with Hartman this past year. He was at Wake Forest, and then he transferred to Notre Dame to play at a bigger school. And it's I have a feeling college is gonna have to fix something with that, because now these big schools, the Alabamas, the FSUs, the Clemsons, the Notre Dames, they're just gonna be plucking your starting quarterback from BC is gonna play at Notre Dame because
Tommy would never leave.
They're a bigger school.
He's got Dunkin' Donuts money.
But how would they? How's that
vehicle,
different than recruiting? I don't understand why that's different than recruiting. I mean, they're high school seniors; they're getting recruited, or juniors, whatever.
No, these are guys. This is a guy that was the starting quarterback for, say, Texas Tech, and now he's going to.
Now there's competition for him, right? You could guy at Florida can say, the head coach at Florida can say, hey, we can offer you X, Y, and Z plus all this NIL money because we're a bigger school than where you are. And it's a competition at that point.
Yep. Or we're going to get you more money.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Or we're going to get you more money, right?
They're going to ruin other programs. They're going to be non-existent. It's just going to be, the top 10, 15 schools in the country, and that's it.
The product's already getting ruined ish. Stay with me on this, because they now I mean, I didn't even realize this, but somebody said it on something I was listening to. I believe next Wednesday, the portal system is closed. Right? It's next week, which was I was blown away by that. I felt like the portal stayed open much longer, or maybe they're shortening the window for the portal to not have it be the Wild West. But the portal closes next week. That didn't prevent, and this is on a myriad of levels. You got the kids that are leaving for the draft.
By the way, closed today.
Portal's today. Okay, shit. Okay, so we're making my point. So you've got kids that didn't play in bowl games because they're leaving for the NFL. You got kids that weren't playing in bowl games because they got tapped on the shoulder by a bigger school to leave.
Yeah.
And somebody said this, and I thought it was pretty friggin' accurate. They're turning bowl season into sponsored spring games. Go ahead, Scotty.
Sorry. I didn't want to interrupt you. I was trying to go for the slow hand. I was doing the slow
I get you.
I like the slow hand. That's a good look.
Yeah.
So and this is to me why they're expanding the college football playoff. At least in theory, this is my theory. Is that they're expanding it because there's more exposure, right? There's going to be more opportunity because nobody gives a shit if you go play in the
Easy.
the Pop-Tart Bowl,
The Feng
right?
Shui Bowl.
Nobody's
No,
gonna
I
care
want
about
the
that,
Pop-Tart
which was
Bowl.
amazing. Which was
I want the
amazing.
Pop-Tart Bowl. That was that is my prayer for BC next year.
It's the greatest thing I've ever seen is when
Amazing. And the trophy was edible. Sign me up.
Totally.
Yep.
And then throwing Pop-Tarts.
Did you
Anyway,
see that, Adam?
Sorry, squirrel.
No,
squirrel.
I didn't. Is that right? Is it true?
Had a guy in a Pop-Tart uniform.
Oh yeah.
And he
Oh
was
my
up on the
God.
toaster dancing, and then he went into the slot. And then at the bottom, they had the winners with their hats and T-shirts, and a massive 6x4 Pop-Tart came out, and they all
Get
went up and
out
ate
of
it.
here. Oh my God, that's
It's
amazing.
chef's kiss friggin' brilliant. My challenge, and we're going to get back to Scotty's point because he was actually talking about sports. I've diverted to food. My challenge is when I saw that the Cheez-It Bowl reared its ugly head the other 2 years ago, the Cheez-It Bowl, I'm like, that's brilliant. What I didn't realize is they screwed it up. Like, who's in these marketing meetings? The same people that are doing 97.7 Roomba. But anyway, so I didn't realize. Did you realize?
Oh, you're gonna lose our only sponsor.
They'll be back. The cheese, they love us. I love you, Jess.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I love you. I love you, Leslie. So the Cheez-It Bowl is I believe it is the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl.
Yeah, that was so stupid.
If you have
What?
the Citrus Bowl,
The
you
Cheez-It
get that
Citrus
you
Bowl?
get that sponsored by
Tropicana.
Tropicana or what's the Simply, right, or something like that. You have them do that.
Yeah.
I thought the Cheez-It Bowl was just the Cheez-It. They don't have enough cracker money. Oh,
And they did the same thing that the Pop-Tarts did. Did you see that?
Yeah,
I'm watching it right now. They popped up out of a Cheez-It box.
Yeah.
What?
It's killing me.
It's
Sorry,
ridiculous.
sidebar. Scotty was making perfect sense about sports. Back to you.
It's all good. It's all good. All I'm saying is that because they're expanding the playoff, I think what they're trying to do is mitigate the kids from not playing, right? Where you have Ohio State only scoring 3 points because they didn't have any starters that wanted to actually play in that game, right? It also speaks to how shitty of a program they are. There, whatever. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that one. But also the fact like they want to have that exposure, the students do, but also gives these students a chance to play for a national championship. Where if you have these other bowls that what are they playing for? And it's a perfect example of the lack of I guess commitment, really, that it's no longer about school. It's no longer about school pride anymore. There's that lack of commitment for students during like the transfer portal is a perfect example of that. And then not playing in bowl games, is another example. So I think what college football is trying to do is expand the playoff so that they can have more competitive games like we saw a couple of nights ago in the semifinal. And I think that's the biggest reason why they're doing that. And I think it's a good idea. I really do. And it'll be interesting to see how it plays out next year.
I'm sorry. I think I blacked out while I was watching the Pop-Tart be dismantled by the football team. This is the
watched
most
it?
amazing thing
So
I've
good.
ever seen in my
So
entire
good.
life.
Yeah,
I can't even believe this happened and I didn't know about it.
like
It's crazy.
if you asked me what they should do, I would have never guessed in a million years they were going to have a massive Pop-Tart come out
Oh
and the
my
kids all get to eat
God,
it like a
it's
cake at a
so
wedding.
Magical.
It's it's so well done. And there's so many that are so bad.
Oh,
Like the Tax
God.
Slayer Gator Bowl. Like, can you make 4 more phone calls, Brenda, and get me something better than Tax Slayer? Right? I don't know what they're
my
doing.
God.
don't
I
know
have a
what these
new
people-
dream to be the Pop-Tart mascot.
I
on
want
the
that.
Pop-Tart Bowl.
Where does that take place? Can you guys get me that information? I
I'm
want
we can
if
find
that's
it.
a drivable bowl game, which anything on the continental U.S. for Janina is drivable. So as long as that's not any further south than San Diego, we're probably going to make that road trip. Where is this?
Oh,
You
it's
know
in
what's funny is you just made a point though, Tim,
Orlando.
about the
Perfect.
Tax Slayer, whatever, college football basically created its own problem by watering down the bowls.
Yes.
Right? There's so many bowl games now. There's so many bowl games that it's so watered down, and that's why they're creating this college football playoff to try to, to try to get more football, good quality football. But they did this to themselves. You know what I mean? It's insane because you have 75 bowl games and nobody really is going to care about that many bowl games. Let's be honest. you know. So I don't want to watch Liberty get destroyed by 100 points, you know, just because they made a bowl game,
Yeah.
you know, and they're just embarrassing themselves, you know. I just,
Yep.
yeah, it just they created a monster. Now they're trying to kill it, but
Yeah, the
we'll
bowl
see what
games. The bowl games are an issue. Unmitigated, the portal and the NIL is going to get away from them too, and it's going to create more problems. And I just, you know, and I mean, he seems relatively committed. I'm going to bore everybody with Chestnut Hill University talk. He seems relatively committed. Like my biggest fear right now is somebody's going to be like, yeah, I'm going to go grab the Castellanos kid, and you know, we're right back to
Right.
Jimmy Porridge from Stoughton's going to be our quarterback again.
That was
He's got
my
no
point,
opposable
really.
thumbs, but it's going to be great, you know? Yeah.
You know,
So
if any quarterback shows any glimpse of hope at a halfway decent college, they're going to
Gone.
get ripped
Gone.
in
Yep. Plucked.
for
halfway
the
decent.
top tier.
That was almost
Yeah.
a compliment to me.
it
I'm not
was-
worried
it
about it.
was
I'm
a
not worried
compliment.
about it. Not worried about it. It's fine.
It was
Do
a
you,
compliment.
do you,
Listen,
since I know
there's-
nothing
there-
about
there's
this
two
college
Irish
I've
football
worn
teams.
Boston College attire. He's never worn Notre Dame attire.
Fucking never will. Never will. ND stands for not doing it. Yeah, there's 2 Irish Catholic football teams on planet America. God only loves one of them. End of story.
It's got to be
What were you
the
gonna say,
Notre
Adam?
Dame.
No, Touchdown
was just-
Jesus is on the side of the building at that cockamamie women's prison you call Notre Dame. He's going like this. He's like, why am I here? What are we doing? He's not saying touchdown. He's like, this is terrible.
What is Rubber Shoes? What's your connection to Notre Dame, by the way?
He loves
You
them.
didn't go there, right?
Loves them.
No, just
Love him.
my
Did LeBron
It's
go
dad-
there?
it's a
I can't
dad
remember.
man.
It's a dad thing. That's where I dropped the gloves.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a
Oh,
dad
okay.
thing.
Oh,
The
oh,
Habitant,
okay,
it's
okay.
all his
Got it.
dad's fault. God bless
Understood.
Mr. Corey.
Understood.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll go no further then.
There it is. Say that's where we dropped
Yes.
the gloves. It's a dad
Yes.
thing.
I gotcha.
What are we on to next? Where are we going? What are we talking about?
Well, I think we talked Celtics, right?
I'd love to.
All right. Scotty,
Yeah, do you
wanted
wanna
to say
Talk
something?
about who's not going to play Friday night when I go.
Oh, are you going to the game?
Yeah.
This is breaking news. Are you sitting in the
Oh, it's not.
the
it's
whip
not breaking
seats
news.
or?
We've known since October. Where
Brought
have
to
you
you by
been, Adam?
97.7 Roomba.
Rumba!
Setting them up and knocking them down. A little tonic for Garlic, everybody.
Here's Enrique Iglesias on
Joey
Rumba.
Church. Get it right. Joey Church.
Because of the great schedule making, they have a back-to-back. They'll be playing the Indiana Pacers on Saturday. So who are they going to play the whole team against?
You're
Saturday
already
against
pissed
the
off about it.
Pacers
You're
or
not
Friday
you
against
haven't even
Utah?
gone to the game and you're already pissed off about it. What is going on?
I love it.
Because I'm
You'll see.
pretty sure the unicorn is not going to play Friday night. That's what I'm guessing.
Oh, all right. Well, he had
I
quite the
think you'll
game
see
last
the majority
night.
of the
Better
time.
choices.
Yeah.
Listen,
think you'll see the
I have
majority.
to say before we move on to their upcoming schedule, if you didn't watch the game last night, SGA is just like I haven't watched him much this season, but oh my God, Drew Holiday couldn't keep up with him. Derek White couldn't keep up with him. Jaylen Brown couldn't keep up with him. They finally put Tatum on him, and Tatum slowed him down a bit in the fourth quarter. But woo, this dude is the real deal. I mean, I think we would beat them in a 7-game series. I'm not that worried about that. But the fact that he just ate us alive for 3 quarters was
But those are the
Incredible.
type of teams that the Celtics have had problems with, is the young athletic teams. Like the
which is
Indiana
weird because we're
Pacers
a
and-
young athletic team. It's really weird that
Hey,
we
hold
struggle
on.
with that.
I
It's-
know.
Young athletic teams that can actually play basketball, that know how to
Yeah.
play, the
Pesky
game,
facts.
and that's the difference. Where they've destroyed some other teams that have some young athletic players, but they don't really play together. But and the other thing is SGA is right now he's a top 3 MVP candidate.
Gotta
Like
be.
he's playing
Yep.
out of his mind, and
Right.
I saw this coming. Like I said, like around this time last year, he started playing like
Yeah.
ridiculous. And I was saying to Churn and my brother and a few others, I was like, this kid is just next level, man. Like
Mhm.
he's gonna figure it out, and he has. He's an unbelievable basketball player, unbelievable, and I'm happy for
Well,
him.
And last night he was knocking down threes, which is like, I mean, if he adds that to his game, forget. I mean,
Oh,
who's going to
terrifying.
stop him?
It's terrifying.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And then Giddy last night had quite the game. I mean, Giddy is not, to me, Giddy's not like a top tier guy. But he was killing us from 3 last night. I mean, we were daring him to kill us, but he did. He actually killed us last night.
He's too
From 3.
streaky. He's a
way
good
too
player.
streaky.
He's too streaky. He had a good game last night, but yeah, I agree with you, Adam. If it was a 7-game series, I'm not worried about that. But it was a great game last night. I figured we'd talk. The 2 things I wanted to talk about, both off-court stuff in regards to the Celtics. One, which is somewhat old, was the Udonis Haslem comment. I don't know if you guys have heard this, where he came out. He was on a podcast, because everybody in the NBA has a podcast now, and was talking about he was trying to get his players riled up during last season, during the playoffs, his teammates, I should say. And he starts talking about the fact that Bill Russell's jersey, or his number, is retired in the Heat Arena. Now, Russell's jersey's retired all across the NBA, just like Jackie Robinson, right?
Right.
And he's in the locker room, and he's telling his players, fuck Bill Russell. The hell did he ever do? He doesn't deserve to be here. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So it just, it came out, and Bam Adebayo was like, dude, like, Unc, what you doing, man? Like, you don't need to be talking to him. First of all, he's dead. Second of all,
know the history of the league.
Yeah.
Right.
And Cedric Maxwell just came out on, guess what? A podcast, his own podcast, which is called Cedric Maxwell.
How come not on our podcast?
I'm switching
How
on
comes no one
to
breaking
all
this
the
stuff on our
basketball,
podcast?
ATB.
Right.
Yep.
And he came out and just kind of ripped into Haslem, which honestly I've despised Udonis Haslem for many, many years, because
he's a D-bag.
scumbag, and just literally did nothing and just collected a paycheck for the final 6 years of his career. But just absolutely tore into him and saying, like, you should know better. This isn't like a 20-year-old, 22-year-old kid. You know better. You know what Russell did for the game, right? Like, you know what he did, and you're over there like ripping him, and it's just, and Cedric Maxwell did make one point of, he understands he was trying to get his teammates fired up, and obviously they hate the Celtics, and it's like him walking into, the crypto arena or the Forum or LA, whatever the hell it is in LA now, the Lakers, and he's walking in there saying F Magic, which I totally get. But Magic Johnson didn't do what Bill Russell did for the game of basketball and for, African Americans everywhere in regards to sport, outside of sport, etc. So it was just, I don't know. I wanted to get your thoughts on that and how ridiculous that shit was.
Well, it's classless, right? I mean, it's not only is the guy, passed away, but, like you said, he's done so much. Just take his stuff on the court away, and he's done a ton of stuff for everybody, humanity in general. So he definitely needed to be honored in a way that crosses, team boundaries. And honestly, some things are bigger than the basketball that they play on the court, and Bill Russell is bigger than Kobe Bryant when he died, and there was an outpouring of love and support for him. You wouldn't catch somebody saying F Kobe in a locker room, I wouldn't think. So to me, it's just tasteless. It reeks of Udonis Haslem and the way he's played the game and the way that he's treated opponents over the years. And, he's a guy, I think he has four rings now. Unfortunately, he's won those rings on the backs of other people. Let's be honest. I mean, it's not like he was ever the number 1 guy on a championship team, or even like a number 4 guy on a championship team. So I just think for a guy like that, I agree that he should have known better. You're 40 something years old. You're talking to 20-year-olds that may not know better, may not understand the history. And, you should know better. And it's a third rail you don't touch, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's an odd choice. There's such a freedom for these idiots to run off the mouth, right? Or to tweet stuff. And we sort of saw this skating backwards a little bit. The what just happened with it was Florida State making fun of Bamba Lamba for losing to Michigan. Did you see all the tweets?
No.
What? No.
Oh yeah, and I could. I could stay with me. Stay with me. I could be completely out of my mind because it doesn't track at all. And I think, and I can assure you, because it's Dryuary, I was remarkably sober this morning while I was probably perusing these. There's
Sorry to hear about that, Tim.
somewhere on the Instas, somewhere there's just screenshots of tweets where they're talking about like they shouldn't have been there, see, and all this other kind of stuff. And there was one that was posted, unfortunately, by the quarterback. Am I getting his name wrong? Travis, right?
Jordan Travis.
Yeah, Jordan Travis. And it looks like Travis posted his and deleted it. So I don't know what he wrote. But it just sort of goes back to like there's no accountability. Like if Adam Silver was actually going to do something and be like, yeah, those remarks are completely ridiculous. And you want to be a piece of NBA history? You're going to be. That comment's getting you suspended. Just to send a message.
Well, he's not even playing anymore. He finally retired. But yeah.
Oh, is Haslam done? I'm sorry. I thought Haslam's still playing.
No, he finally retired last year. So
okay.
Well, it also shows that he's not self-aware enough to like. Why would you even share that story? Like the fact that you did it, fine, behind closed doors. But why would you even come out on a stupid podcast and be like, oh, brag about it? Like, dude, have some awareness of the world around you and what might happen if you share a story like that. He clearly doesn't. So.
Right. I mean,
Hey, so
Gordon Hayward.
Question
Go ahead,
for
Billy.
you three gentlemen. Has anyone given Winning Time on HBO a chance yet?
Yes.
I have not watched it yet.
Did you see season 2, Scotty?
I started it, but didn't get through it. I haven't finished it yet. There was other things that came up. And,
See, season 2, all three of you, I think, will really like.
What is this called?
I heard there's a Larry Bird episode, and I'm like 6 to midnight to watch.
There's a few of them.
Oh.
Yeah.
The best thing about watching the Celtics on League Pass is that they show in between on the timeouts, they show old Larry Bird highlights. That's like all it is. It's just nonstop Larry Bird highlights. I love it. So
I love that.
You get to watch the fun new team that's potentially going to win a championship this year, and then you get to watch Larry Bird just torch Dominique Wilkins.
Yeah, I think you guys will enjoy this season. If you
all right,
you could skip right over the first season.
Yeah, I watched the first season. The first season was it really hurt. I hate the Lakers so much, so it really was painful.
Yeah. The second
this is the Lakers
season,
show. Okay.
Yeah, second season is geared to Celtics fans.
Yeah. I like
right.
Do you guys all drink espresso?
No.
Nobody. Okay.
No.
There's in the
where are we going with this?
Oh, you got to talk to yourself now, Timmy?
Nope. Next topic.
Well,
do we tip our waiters at Dunkin' Donuts? That's the next question.
No, I'm interested in what the hell was happening.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I need to know now.
Well,
go ahead.
Listen, I'll say it quietly so Rubber Shoes can't hear me.
Okay.
I'll talk to my cat.
I fear this is what he does most of the day, right?
Only in Spanish, though.
Yep. Yes. Come here, Roomba. Yeah, it's on the TikToks like a couple of weeks ago, and this guy had this video. And he's an Italian dude, and he's trying to explain to Americans the best way to have espresso on the go. You're not going to believe this. And yes, I got the 18 pack. Look at this. It's called Pocket Coffee.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
It sounds inappropriate, and it is.
And of course you bought it. Of course you bought it.
1,000%. So this is what they are. Look at how little it is.
Oh my God.
This is a little chocolate. It's made by, you guys know the brand, Ferrero. They make the Rocher Ferrero little candies and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's 18 of these little wonders, and this is loaded with an espresso shot.
Wow.
So they came in today, and God bless Tiana at the front desk. She walks in. She's like, Happy New Year. She's Serbian. It's magical. And she's like, Happy New Year. She's walking the packages to me. And I'm like, what in the hell is this? Because like the box is like, I'm like, what is happening? And I open it up. I'm like, oh my God, here it is. So she drinks espresso. So she took one. I gave one to Jeff, and I was going to do one, but I'm like afraid now at this point.
Do one.
Yeah, but
You're doing lines of coke.
it usually doesn't have that effect on me. But I was just like, maybe I'll pop one next week at the start of the show.
That's probably a good idea.
If you have anyone in your life that likes espresso, it's pretty cool that you can just sort of have these on hand and pop a chocolate and be wired.
How much?
Tim would be like-
If you had to ballpark it, Tim, how much money would you say you spend off of TikTok per night? It seems like every night you're just flipping through and you find 3 or 4 things.
I appreciate that. Hi, China. I know you're listening. I have not yet gone down the wormhole of the TikTok shop.
Oh, that's good. That's
Because
good
when
for
you're
you
on
and your wallet.
TikTok, it's like, they hit the thing below to go to the TikTok shop. Like, I'm not going to play in that space. What I'll do is if I see something, I'll be like, all right, I'm going to go find that on the Amazons.
Okay.
I'll go to the Bezos first before I'm going to go down to the situation. And yeah, in the grand scheme of things, things on TikTok that have sent me over to Amazon to make purchases, it's probably not great.
Kaylee
Yeah, I
said
wouldn't think
that she's tempting you to do it. She said she'll walk you out of the office, princess.
Oh my God.
Also, by the way, she's in the Berwicks. I didn't know she was in the Berwicks. I'm in the
She
Berwicks.
1000% is she's in over in beautiful downtown Southern Maine with you. Yep. What's really interesting too is I made that a while ago. The most recent one, you'll love this because we live here at the office. You know all those ice makers, the countertop ice makers?
Oh yeah. You
So
got
we
one
had a
of those?
40-pound bag of ice that was in the fridge from Pi Day. You remember the 40-pound bag of ice that was in my office,
I do.
Scotty? That migrated to the fridge, and we had that for a while. And then somebody just came in, they're like, "Oh, we're out of ice." I'm like, "Okay, I'm not in charge of ice." And then I thought to myself, you know what I saw in the TikTok shop? The countertop ice maker. So we have a countertop ice maker in the kitchen, and you load it up with water. It'll make 26 pounds of ice in 24 hours.
Oh my God!
But it
That's
makes ice on
crazy.
demand, and so we make a round of ice and we load up a container in the freezer, so we've got ice for ice
Do you
espressos,
have a
yeah.
budget that you're working with, or you just?
I have a
Oh.
budget that I'm working with, but we don't need to discuss that because we are on an open channel. And
Oh, okay.
yeah,
All right.
people that
I
are connected to
didn't-
my budget will get alarmed.
Oh.
Yeah. That'll be a word I'd
too many
use.
purchases of
Alarmed.
fucking coffee.
And if I'm not here next week, tell the world my story.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Just
And
you
bought
just
a new
went onto
alarm
the
and
TikTok
it didn't
shop
last.
one too many times.
Yeah, just go tell the world my story. Yeah, tell the world my story, which will be available on the TikTok shop at a deep discount.
Please
as
record
they
an
would say.
audiobook
Yep.
first before you go.
Yes,
All right.
Yes. Oh my Lord.
The second thing for the Celtics I wanted
Yes,
to
sir.
bring up that was not on court related. Did you guys see the Gordon Hayward interview recently on
Yes.
the Paul George? Yeah, with Paul George, that he came out about the 18-19 team, which was just loaded with talent.
Mhm.
And Hayward came out and basically he didn't really out anybody. And actually Tatum came out earlier today and corroborated some of what he said. Was basically saying that, with him, Gordon Hayward, Tatum, Brown, Kyrie, Horford, Marcus Smart, the list goes on. I mean, the team was loaded, but something I think we all thought at the time, like everybody's at the exact same position, right? Like their top players were
Mhm.
all small forwards essentially or wings. And he came out and it was just kind of a shit show. But the one thing that I hung up on was he's like, I've got so many stories about that team, but I can't talk about them. And then Tatum comes out today and he's like, oh yeah, it was the whole thing was shit. They're basically just saying that it was like a mess. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I want to know. And my first text was to Gutowski, Ryan Gutowski Stoney, was like, it was all Kyrie's fault.
Of course it was. Of
He was
course
out
it
there like
was.
everything's flat. The
He
earth
screws
is
up
flat.
every team he's on.
We're not going to do anything good. I don't know. But I don't know if you
Oh
guys
my
saw
God.
that. I just thought that was hilarious and really
Every-
interesting too. That team was one of the most disappointing Celtic teams.
Oh my God.
Getting a gentleman's sweep by the Bucks. That
Yeah.
was just really, really sad. And then it all broke apart. But
Every time I see Gordon Hayward now, I always feel like he's like one of those ultimate guys that just his career should have been better, right? Like he was an all-star coming from the Jazz to the Celtics, and then it just like torpedoed, obviously with the injury, and then he just never found his footing with the Celtics, and then he went to the Hornets, and he's been just languishing with the Hornets for so long. He was such a promising, like I remember when they signed him and Kyrie, I was like, wow, this, like you said, this is a stacked team. And even with Tatum and Brown weren't what they are now. But they had the talent, and Horford was, you know, a young Horford. What was that, like 5 years ago? So he was still in his early 30s.
Easy.
I just get sad every time I see Gordon Hayward. I just get so sad because he's had
I
so
love
much
you
promise.
use the word languishing with the Charlotte Hornets. Like Michael Jordan bets $100,000 a hole while he's playing golf, and even he was like, "I gotta fucking sell this thing."
Yeah, I'm out of here.
He's burning money on the golf course. He's lighting cigars with
He made so much money from
bills. He's
selling
like,
that.
"This has got to go. I got to get out of here."
This is awful.
Yeah, even this isn't a good idea. Yeah.
Well, even Terry Rozier has been languishing with the Hornets too. It's like that's like the graveyard of that 18-19 team. And I always wish Rozier got traded somewhere where he could flourish, because I loved him when he played for us. I mean, that 1 or 2 seasons, I loved him.
I don't. Rubbish shoes.
like
Here's
this.
something. You're both looking
like
around.
Well, because I'm terrified. I'm in
sounds
the
like the
horror movie.
door's
I'm gonna get
opening.
killed at some point.
Well, I feel like that door behind you over your left shoulder. Is there a door
You
over
do
your
look
left
like you're
shoulder?
in a horror movie. That's true.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like
There's a
that
door.
door. I feel like I'm seeing that door move. Give that door a move. I want to see if that's it. That's the squeak. I love all of
It's
this.
like the Blair Witch Project.
No, the other. Oh no. Oh, I thought there was something. What's this thing right next to you? Isn't there? Is there a
this your
closet?
primary bedroom suite too?
No,
or
other
we're in,
side.
or
Other
where
side.
are
Over
we
your
at
left
right
shoulder.
now?
Is there a closet?
Nathan.
Oh,
Yes.
Nathan's room. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I saw that door opening.
What?
Wow, this is creepy.
Hope not. Nothing in there.
Well, open that door.
A bunch of dirty laundry.
There is
Nathan
no-
has laundry in a fridge.
I'm telling you. We're
Oh
going to tell
my.
the world your story. Holy shit.
There'll be nothing on the shop. I tell you that.
Scotty got
I
killed
like
by
that you
dryer
chose the
sheets.
Bledsoe jersey for today too. That's,
Yeah, what is
Oh
happening?
no, was that Edelman?
Well,
right?
I figured we'd be talking about the end of the Patriots season, and we haven't been this bad since
Oh
we
my
drafted
God.
Bledsoe. So.
I gotta
Yeah,
breathe.
yeah.
Maybe I am doing a
Segue.
pocket coffee.
Segue.
Holy shit.
Bang, nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
So let's open with the Jets and our predictions, and then let's close with our thoughts about what's going to happen. I suppose.
Okay.
It's a 1:00 at Foxborough. What does Vegas have it at?
was
I
actually-
can't. I
wanna
can't
say it was
imagine they
minus-
have us losing. Do they have us losing?
No,
No,
come
last
on.
I saw it was 1.5.
Oh God, it's almost a push.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, over unders 30.5 and minus 1.5 Patriots, or minus 1.5.
30.5.
Hmm.
I'm gonna zag. I'm going 27-10. Pats win.
Ooh, I like it.
What do you got, Scotty?
Oh, me. I want to say. I'm going to say 17-13 Pats.
Oh, okay.
27-10,
27-10, 17-13. You said 30.5 for the over-under, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm going to say
Don't say the
12-10.
Jets win.
12-10 Jets. Rylan misses the
Oh my
field goal.
God!
Rylan
Wow.
misses the field goal that would have won it in the last second.
The pessimism is just absolutely brutal.
And we keep the second pick.
Oh my God. Well, hopefully we get a 25-year-old college quarterback.
No, if we pick second, we can get one
Call
of the
back.
young guys. We can get Drake May.
I'll call it the Battle of 1812. It's going to be 1812
Oh.
Patriots. There's the fact that Brady's last game was a loss. The fact that Brady's last play was a pick six to Ryan Logan. I
Logan
want
Ryan.
I want Logan Ryan Logan. It's all the same. It's not, but it's fine.
Not to him.
Yeah, right.
You say Roomba, I say Roomba. Tomato, Roomba. It's all in the spelling, which you can see on the radio.
Right back there.
Holy shit, we got. Oh, what's that? No lights on? You got a clapper in there? What are we doing?
No,
What's
no.
happening?
If I lean forward, my camera switches back. What the hell just
What is
happened?
it? You're in a
God.
haunted
The
house.
ghosts are in your room right now.
If I lean back.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh, it's not so
Nothing.
much a symphony. Not so much a symphony of lights there.
What's happening?
I'm going 1812.
1812. All right.
I would like to see
1812 from
Billy
Timmy.
get. I would love to see Billy to get a win if this is this one song. And I think the chatter this week has been pretty ridiculous that this is it, and it's just I don't know. For him, if it could be anywhere. The people have been talking about San Diego. Sorry, the Los Angeles Chargers. People have been talking about the Commanders forever. I'm just gonna be so annoyed to watch him break the record and own the record at some other team. It's so stupid. And knowing that the energy in that direction is pretty strong, and that it's probably a fait accompli. If he's gone, everybody has to go. I don't want it, like, just if he's leaving, they all go. You march Gerard Mayo to the throne. What are we doing? I don't know,
Well,
and I'm sure everyone disagrees with me, but like, nope. Keep him.
Stuff I've heard on the radio is that Kraft has promised that job to Mayo, so it's
well,
like
it's 2024.
has to
People get
give
their
it
hearts
to him.
broken all the time.
I think he stays. I'm just gonna say it. I think dude, I
1,000% want that, but it doesn't feel that way right now. All the chatter around town with all the talking heads.
Yeah, but I mean, how many of those talking heads know what they're actually talking about?
Tommy Curran said it in boldface print like 3 weeks ago. That's my biggest tell, and I
hear you.
I want to still think there's a chance that everyone's wrong, but
Kraft values loyalty. I heard Rich Eisen today talking about how they did the pre-production meeting for the Patriots game with him over the Christmas break, and he was like, it doesn't seem like he wants to leave from what he's saying, and what he's, could be a public thing that he's saying publicly and talking privately differently, I know, but I don't see it happening. I think he stays. I think maybe they take away the GM role from him and just let him coach. I mean, be honest, like if you look at it objectively, as opposed to being pissed off that they've been shitty for the last, season, look at some of these games. They've been in some of these games with a pretty crappy team. I mean, their offense is terrible, and they've actually been in these games. I mean,
defense is stacked, and defense right now doesn't have Judon, doesn't have Gonzalez,
right?
But
they put a scare in the Bills.
Shite show.
I mean, you turn the ball over 4 times in the first half, and you still have a chance to win that game. Like, it's there's something there, and I don't know that he walks away from it unless he's forced to. And I just don't. I don't think Kraft would force him out.
Well,
personally.
my thing is, if they take away the GM position, I don't think he's gonna like that. So I don't think he stays if he doesn't have full control. And
the rumor was, though, on the deal that he signed over the summer, apparently, right? The rumor was released that he had signed a deal over last summer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And part of that language was he was stepping away from some of the role that he had previously held, which everybody assumed must have been the GM thing.
He's, given his, is it Matt Groh is the guy who took that position, but it's still one of his guys. So he's going to ask Bill for his input. If they bring in someone that's going to do it all his own, I don't see him and like Belichick and this new guy working together. I just don't see it happening.
And where does he go that he gets to keep full control? Like, where does he go? Name a team.
San Diego.
No team is going to give him full control.
San Diego. Sorry, the Chargers right now. 4,000% the Chargers have let him do it.
Oh,
but the narrative around him, if you want to talk about narratives around him, I mean, the narrative around him is that he's not that great of a GM, or he hasn't, as of late, been a great GM. That's the narrative around him. So why would anybody bank on him being their GM, basically controlling the entire football team if he's still a great coach, but not such a great GM?
So here's Belichick, that's the way he's going. He's going with full control.
Here's the biggest fear factor. What if they do let him go and the new people come in and we're not aggressive in free agency and we trade out of the first round to get into the second round and smaller money. Everything I'm saying is crazy, but it's 2024 and I'm ready for crazy. Buckle up, kids, right? And then we realize, holy shit, he did always have to run the checkbook through dad. And some of it is the frugality of the ownership as opposed to just him being 3 bags of dicks, right? Like we could absolutely find out wow, it's like the end of Good Will Hunting. It's not your fault, you know. It was never his fault. Like everybody has culpability. That's my greatest fear, and that's why I think it can't be Mayo. If you're gonna kick out the guy that put this whole thing together, then everybody's got to go, because otherwise we're still like, well, Gerard's here. It's still the Patriot way. No, you need to hard reset. Like unplug it, count to 30, kick it in the side, plug it back in, and start over. I think
This is how I see it working with Mayo, is that they give him the title. He still is only going to take care of the defense, which is, as we all just agreed, that defense is still decent. And they bring either O'Brien gets full control over the offense, and then they bring in a GM that is offensive minded. That's how I see it can work with Mayo. That he's just there with the title because it was promised to him, but he's really not the head coach. Like, he has no say on the offensive side.
Scotty, you've been quiet. What do you think?
My conspiracy theory is they remove the GM rights from Billy. They bring in Casario. They bring him back. And then they, who's a man that has.
But why would you want to leave Houston? Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
I said, but why would you want to leave Houston? Oh, that's right.
Exactly. But you bring in Casario, bring him back, with the fact that he knows that Belichick's only going to be around for potentially maybe 2 years more. Bill is the head coach still. And you let Casario run things, and it's also a person that has built up a reputation as a solid GM. Bill knows him. Bill trusts him. Bill respects him. At least from the public's perspective. And so, you have somebody like that, you bring him in, and I think that keeps Bill in the building, and you just build the shit out of the offense. And a lot of the defensive players are pretty much staying anyway. Bourne has already come out and said he wants to stay next year. You got a couple of free agents, but you have over $100 million in cap space. So you're going to be able to sign people, and you have to sign people, because over the next 3 years, if you don't sign people to a certain point, the NFL is going to slap you with a penalty. So, they actually have to start doing that. So, yeah, Bobby Kraft up there is going to have to start opening up the checkbook.
That could
for
happen.
Sure. So, transfer portal. Yeah.
Nothing. Okay.
And then if let's say if for some reason Belichick does leave, I honestly don't know where he goes, because it's not like he's super well liked around the league. He's burned bridges pretty much everywhere. So I don't know where he actually lands. I'd be surprised if he found a gig right away. But I'm praying to God that he stays. I really want him to stay. I want him to win, to break the record here. I want him to stay for better, for worse at this point. Bill, we trust. I'll just die on that vine.
4,000%.
My last note on this, and I'll let you go, Adam. Sorry. My last note is, it does feel like at the end of 2019, when Tommy left, but he left on his own accord, but he left. But I was still saying, I'm like, no, I don't see him leaving. There's no way. They'll work it out, blah, blah, blah. It almost feels like it's like, deja vu. So, which scares me. It gives like a shitty, thing. I'm going to drink more because it's, a shitty feeling in my stomach.
Have one for me or two. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping Billy stays, but that's my theory. Go ahead, Adam.
No, I'm good. I agree with you. 1,000%. I think he stays. I would love to see him stay. I am worried that's going to happen. You said about Brady, I think that could potentially happen.
And Scotty made the point of he's not well liked around the league. I think we have to remember that, again, the spoiled rich kids of New England, with all the glory that we've had, all the parades, we've lost track, right? It's been such if you open Merriam-Webster right now and look up Dynasty, it's a picture of Belichick's ass. Like they wrote the blueprint. Like it's the Chiefs right now are such a pleasure. It's such a pleasure.
Oh, it's like so enjoyable.
You're not going to get it done, right?
No.
Anyway, all that aside, I think there's a little bit for me. There's the Brad Marchand theory. He's an asshole, but he's our asshole. And I think there are teams around the NFL that are like, yeah, he's a dick, but if he could be our dick, that'd be great, right? I mean, there's like I will take the asshole at the podium after the win, if there's always wins, right? So I think there's some teams that would stomach it, and that sort of need that. I do not subscribe. And here comes the old man waving his cane at the clouds. Welcome to the show. I do not subscribe to he doesn't have the locker room. He can't communicate with the new younger player. That's only going to get worse and exacerbated by the fact that 14-year-old kids are getting NIL'd out of high school. That's coming soon, I guarantee, into a redshirt freshman year at college, and they're going to be money hungry assholes well before they should have been, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had the kid that was getting loaned the gold chain for draft night. Their dog has one now, and they haven't even gone on campus yet. So Margaret, Jeffrey, and Pickles are like walking around with grills, like wow. It's going to be way out of control, So all the coaches are going to have to adapt to who they're communicating with and how they're communicating. And I still think there's a place in the league for him because he's and I know Scotty feels this way, and I know a lot of us feel this way. He's earned the right. Like if he wants to walk out to the Jets game,
1,000%
with "fuck you" painted on his chest, I'm here for it. Right?
Yep.
Print the shirts.
Agreed.
It's going to be so. And I think people that have been angry, I think there'll be an outpouring of thanks Bill signs.
Yeah.
An absolute outpouring. And at the end of the game,
totally agree.
Yeah, it's going to be. And I don't think they should do it. And if it's already done, and at 4:15 he walks off that field for the last time, I think Crafty doesn't realize what he had and what they could still have. It is repairable. It's repairable.
I like the optimism. I like it.
We're coming off the heels of Tom Brady.
Right.
What did we think it was going to look like? And again, the defense has been super tuned up. The offense has been a car accident. And
Larry Bird's not walking through that door.
You had chefs in the kitchen last year that may have screwed up with the ingredients last year.
Remember what happened when they held on to the big three too long? They didn't win a championship for 20 years.
Yeah, but the coach is different than players, though, and it's also football is different than basketball.
If you keep holding on to him and he keeps bringing back shitty teams year after year, that's 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years before you start actually getting someone in here to actually rebuild the team.
But we're only talking about one season, really, of really bad football. It's 1 year. You know what I mean? And honestly, if you want to talk about the big three, Bird would have
played
retired.
in one playoff game and
Bird would have
lost
retired if Len Bias did not die. Bird would have retired way earlier than he actually did. He was ready to retire. If Len Bias, God rest in power, if he did not pass away, Bird would say on the record, he's like, I was done. I saw Len Bias. I'm like, this kid's my replacement. I'm out.
Yep.
That's gonna, you know what I mean? And that's what would have happened. And McHale was McHale. He was never going to go anywhere, and Parrish played for 6 million years. But I mean, I don't know. I don't necessarily see the comparison. And when it comes to Bill, this is by far obviously his worst coaching year that he's had. But he was given a bag of dicks on offense, and it hasn't worked out. His defense has really gone well.
He gave himself the bag of dicks.
But he also made
catching on, Timmy. Catching on.
I don't think anyone's exonerating him from making a few bad decisions here and there. But also, you look at this team, the amount of injuries, not just within the players, but look at the personnel that they lost. I mean, they brought in players that never even played, like Riley Rife and a few others. But then you got Adrian Clem on the offensive line. He got sick. The dude's ill. He's been sick since week 9, I think, and hasn't had a chance to coach. So what has Bill done? Bill's helping coach the defense and the offensive line. He's actually stepped in and he's coached a ton of that. So to me, I still think, like Timmy said, and I think it's a great point, he's earned the opportunity. At least give the man one more year. You signed him in the fucking summer. Give him the chance to finish that contract. Let him do it.
Well,
Look,
he won't.
We're sitting here next year. And we're 4-12 again next year, looking at week 18. I have no problem saying, all right, Bill, you gave it your best. It's time to go ahead.
Time to go.
You're 72 years old. It's time to move on. But I think he has the opportunity and has built a 20-plus year dynasty here. He has the right. That's my opinion.
Amen.
The thing is, he won't coach on a 1-year deal. He'll need to be extended again too, because if you're on your last deal, you're a lame duck coach, and the plays can turn on you in a
He's
heartbeat.
never going to be a lame duck coach. That's why there's not a piece of me
Well,
that
that's
feels
what I'm
he
saying.
ever
So
he never
basically,
goes in to watch
Bob
film on a
Kraft has
Tuesday and
to
he never
say,
walks onto a
am
field
I
on a
going to
Sunday.
extend him another year?
Yes. Yes.
So you
From a
paid him
sales
for 2
standpoint,
years
from a
after a
sales
shit show?
standpoint, if you're ever having a conversation, when I have conversations with my agents, and people can go through this in a myriad of different reasons. If you're looking to fix your nutrition, lose weight, if you're getting ready for a marathon, anything, there's the breakdown before the breakthrough. And you could argue, well, no, but he's been there. Why are we having a breakdown? Because he is reinventing himself. They're reinventing everything about the team because they took the pillar of the offense,
Right.
that was the cover up for all the warts, all the blemishes, that made things go. That also made things. He also was an attraction point because people were just like, I want to go play with Brady.
Yeah,
And like that,
absolutely.
I think we're discounting that piece of it too. And I think for him to be able to run it back one more time, maybe he will take the 1-year deal. And if they have to extend him, we've made much worse decisions as a
I also
football
think-
team financially than extending him one more year.
And Kraft for once has all the leverage. So let's say he stays on. Kraft says, "Oh, you want me to extend you? Prove it." If you are having a winning year, if you're turning it around by week 8 or week 9, I'll give you an extension. He has all the leverage. He has Belichick by the balls in regards to his contract right now because he's coming off a 4-12, hopefully 5-12 season, right? So that's he has that. He has that leverage.
Scotty's
for the
just
first
trying to
time
get
ever.
back to his original prediction. That's all. Go ahead. Yep. What did you have them? 38-2?
Yeah,
12-5, maybe.
it was not good. Shut up.
It
Anyway,
was not good. A little off.
Belichick could, he could just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to Kraft, and Kraft really couldn't say anything. Now Kraft has this to hold over him, so he has that opportunity, and I think it's for Kraft that's the first time he's had it in 20 years, or whatever. But I don't know. It'll be sad if he goes. I will be literally just I'll be really bummed if he doesn't get an opportunity to turn this thing around.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. I think everybody will be pins and needles on Monday. I enjoy Black Monday. I don't want to see anybody lose their job. Let's have an honest conversation
I'll be
about
shooting
that.
I
off
do. Arthur
fireworks.
Smith needs to get fucking fired. I hate him.
Who's this?
Arthur Smith from the Falcons.
Oh,
He's a joke of a head coach. He's a joke.
Yep. So, the carousel will start on Monday with Black Monday because that's when they'll start lighting people up at 4:30. Quite honestly, on Sunday. Quite honestly, but that's always intriguing. I can't wait to find out the Bill's not gone. But
Same.
I fear that we're going to be having a different conversation next week.
Most people are saying that it's not going to happen until Tuesday, the earliest, if he's let go.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Most of the
I
writers,
think,
because they always have their meeting together
yeah.
on Monday late afternoon.
We'll see you at OTAs.
We'll see you in the funny papers. For Adam and Scotty and Rubber Shoes.
Wait,
Go.
like,
Oh,
two
I'm
seconds.
sorry. I'm
What happened
sorry.
to the Red
Last thing.
Sox?
Does anybody want a
trade?
pocket coffee real quick? No? All right. What-
I could use one. I'm not gonna lie.
My one thing, and then I'll let Billy do the Red Sox. But real quick, one thing: did anyone see the kid that broke the Tetris record?
Nope.
Come on, it's
Now
Tetris.
I'm
First
gonna
of all,
have
we
a
all
pocket
play
coffee.
Tetris. We've all
Now
played
I'm gonna have a
Tetris.
pocket coffee. I'll be up all night.
Yeah, us too, will
Searching
ya?
for that video.
Tetris has been around for 35 years, 38 years, or whatever it is. The
Mhm.
kid actually broke Tetris. Actually, like he ended the game, which is insane.
I like that you
And-
came with research today, Scotty. I like that.
You like that?
Show prep.
So-
Show prep, I guess you call it.
With the old school Tetris, there was actually the founder or the creator.
The spies at Liberty Mutual are like, what the fuck does he do all day?
Their history is really weird. Insurance is not anywhere in here.
Yep.
Anyway, Bibbity. So the guy that created the game never actually put like an ending on it. Basically, long story. It's a very long story, but a long
I
story
love
short,
all of this. Would
that-
you like to play a game?
exactly that at the end of the game they would get to a point where the game could no longer calculate the actual score, so it just froze. and there's like a whole Tetris community and whatever. Like, I'm not going to nerd out right now, but there's a whole community out there. But basically, this
Sure.
kid, he's 13 years old, and he ended up basically he got it to freeze. He got to the end of the game, which people have been trying forever, and it's such an impossible thing to do. Like, you wouldn't be able to go home and do it without certain modifications, because the old NES, the way that the pieces would come down after a certain level, the game wouldn't recognize your movements from your thumb movements, because it just wouldn't recognize it because it's too slow. So you actually had to modify it a little bit so that it would actually catch up as the pieces are falling, so you could align them. But this kid was able to actually do it, and it was, I don't know, it was pretty impressive.
In the Tetris community, it's being called an obloculips. No, nothing.
Hello.
Nobody.
Hello.
Nobody. Nobody's
Here?
good. No.
All right,
Still
let's
here?
go to the Red Sox.
Pocket coffee. Give me a pocket coffee.
Yes. Who did the Red Sox not sign? Rubber shoes. Over to you.
No, it's the trading of Chris Sale. No one has any say in that.
No,
Nope.
we got an
Okay.
infielder. That's great.
It's a relatively cold stove.
Von
right
Grissom,
now.
right? Yes.
Yes, he was a Atlanta top 10 prospect, so they had no room for him. He could be a decent player. Not that I think this puts us out of last place right now, but is a good player. And
We're
they
gonna
signed
be a real
Giolito,
spry and spunky last place.
Giolito, who gave up the most home runs in baseball last year. So that it's looking good for my summer. me and Cheryl.
I don't know if that's
gonna have a
sarcasm or
great
optimism. I don't know what that was.
It's something.
Are we getting a banana float for the pool, or what's going on?
Oh my God.
I still got I don't get a new float until the old one starts leaking. So the strawberry's still.
And you know what
still
has to
alive.
happen to make
Strawberry's
that?
still in
Yeah.
effect.
You know how he
I
pokes
actually-
holes in it the same way he
I
makes
bought-
donuts on the weekend.
I bought Amy a float for Christmas for our pool.
Yes.
It's one with like the cup holders, and it's got like the long, like the legs.
Oh yeah,
and
she's never gonna get out. She's gonna get in Friday night and stay
Palm
until
tree,
Sunday.
the
Yep.
palm tree on the back of
Oh,
it.
the whole
Yeah.
thing. The whole thing. Yeah, it's
Perfect.
amazing.
Perfect. Perfect.
That's
Perfect.
amazing.
Perfect.
Listen, before we go, I have one more thing. I just got Super Mario Brothers Wonder. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Oh my God.
I was just kidding.
Okay. I thought it
Oh,
was
he's making fun of Tetris.
He's making
I
fun
get
of me.
it.
It's okay. It's all right.
Sorry, if you have to explain the joke,
Cheryl's
it's not
gonna
funny.
be mad that you guys just glossed over the Red Sox.
She's
Our
Well,
one
she's-
fan.
Cheryl got a few
She's
minutes
gonna-
at the beginning of the show. I think
she's going to be fine. Yeah, we were doing her legal segment at the top of the show. We'll be back
She's
at it
not
next
winning
week.
Tiger Woods' death right now.
We'll be back at it next week for Scotty, for Adam, for Rubber Shoes. I am Timmy. You can track us down at atbshow.com. Rubber Shoes. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Did we get we get a hat tomorrow? What's happening tomorrow?
Yep, we're what, like
You went into
10
the
hats
Scally
in so
caps.
far?
What's happening?
I said we're about 10 hats into the hat of the day. I got about
4,000
30,
left.
40 more.
Oh my god.
And I
gonna-
have two.
it's gonna get us to
I
Lent.
will have. I'm getting a new jersey for the Friday night's game. I got to run out to Dick's tonight and pick
Modell's,
that up.
yep.
So,
Yep.
and I did get a new jersey for Christmas, so I have two that I have to do for a jersey of the day.
We love that. We love that.
Whew.
We'll see you next week. I have
Thank you,
no
Rob.
idea what night we're doing it. Probably Wednesday, but you'll find out later. Thanks for watching the show. Have a great week.